Hey gang, welcome back. It's warmish, pretty warm weekend. Yeah, we're just rolling into the back end of Easter, so yeah, happy Easter if this will be out well and truly after Easter, but anyway, that's all right. Talking thunderstorms this evening, high winds, only still got 10 mil of rain on the forecast, so there might be a bit of storm lotto. We'll see how we go, whether we end up with anything. Yeah, 10 mil will be neither here nor there really. Probably either, if it's rain properly, like 25 or 30 mil drop would be good. But yeah, on the other token, if we're only going to get 5, well, it might as well not rain at all, just with the dry sowing we've done, but also with summer crop harvest. Yeah, it'd be good to get into it. So what I'm doing, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take those jewels off, and I've got the rice tyres there that you would have seen in the last one. We got one fixed. Yeah, and so what I've decided is I'm going to put the rice tyre on the inside, and I'll see how I go. We might bolt, if the dish works with the spacer, we might bolt that one onto the outside so we've got a bigger footprint. Yeah, just with the ground has dried out since a hell of a lot since we tried the other day, but if we do get 5 or 10 mil of rain, it'll just get sticky again. So those rice tyres have got, as I think I explained, but if it didn't, they've got sort of half as many lugs, but the lugs twice as deep as well. So yeah, it just doesn't, the mud doesn't seem to build up in there. So we are battling a little bit because we're not full driving the rice. So anyway, it is what it is. So anyway, I'll get a jack under these, under this thing, and get it up, and we'll get the outsides off. I am here on my own. Brendan has been and gone. I haven't been doing much today. It is still a public holiday. It's Easter Monday, so and yeah, Tony didn't come out at all, being public holiday. So yeah, but I just want to have a crack at these. Some of these jobs I don't mind doing on my own because it may take a little bit longer, or I can just chip away at it and I sort of know what needs to be done. Whereas sort of sometimes if you have 2 or 3 other blokes here, you can find, well, I find that you can be fighting one another if you're not careful, just with pushing and pulling and that sort of stuff. But hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. We've got a bit of a trick to it, so yeah, we'll see how we go. So the next tricky bit is the spacer. the wheel, the other outside wheel goes on, or the inside wheel goes on, then the spacer, and then the bolts go through the spacer and the hub of the wheel. So I'll just gotta, it'll be a bit precarious once we get those bolts out. We'll leave one in the top, and then we'll get a strap around it with the forks on the loader and to try and catch it. But I just need to be careful that the wheel doesn't come with it. Yeah, when we take it off. But yeah, just had to get the right size socket, but it's a bit tricky though, as they're pretty tight, these things, from memory, and yeah, it's a pretty noisy job getting them undone. Two that don't want to come undone, which is going to make it interesting. I'll just change the battery in. Can't actually get a socket or a extendable bar in there with a pipe to get it off. Anyway, so there we go. To show you what I've done here, so I've got these locating pins that I've screwed in to the studs, and then what I've done is I've unhooked the actual drive coupler. So what I can do is I can spin that hub now to line it up, rather than, because once it's on obviously the tyres on the forks, yeah, you can't sort of obviously move them. So yeah, that just helps line everything up. So fingers crossed, it should go on together. What I've noticed is on the spacer, the spigot is different between the tyre, like the header tyre, and then that makeshift jewel we've got. So whether we just put that makeshift jewel back on, yeah, I'll just see. We'll get it on, and whether we bolt the spacer back on, and yeah, just see what it looks like, I suppose. But yeah, I can put the wheel on and put the spacer on and put some bolts in it, and yeah, then we'll see how it looks. Actually wasn't too bad. So I've got one bolt in. There's some spaces, you can sort of see where they go there. So I'll grab them. We weren't using them with the spacer for the jewels. What I reckon, I don't think it's going to work, is that spacer is not going to be deep enough to get the other wheels back on. They are, I think these ones are 100mm wider than the other tyres, but yeah, you can see how they're a lot more aggressive in the tread, but they're also a fraction smaller revolutionary wise, or diameter wise, revolutionary wise, goodness gracious. What was I going to say? So what I reckon I'll do, I'll just run them as singles for the rice. There's not a lot of weight in this little front, so that won't be too bad. The other thing, what we do is we tend to run them backwards. So the theory is, not being four-wheel drive, if we do get bogs going forwards, it'll walk itself out backwards. So yeah, we sort of generally always do that. And even with the other tyres, we usually put them on backwards because they wear a bit better, rather than the leading edge of the grip all the time. So yeah, anyway, I'll chip away here and get this bolted up and see how they look. It's raining, so yeah, all done. Yeah, so the other side went on all right. So yeah, hopefully that'll help. The jewels would have been ideal, but I think these will be probably better anyway. Yeah, the jewels might have been, or when we had the other things on it, might have been sort of beaching it a little bit because the outer jewels were sort of bald anyway. But yeah, hopefully that'll keep it afloat. I was a bit concerned about the weight with these tyres because they haven't got the same load rating as the high tyres that are on it all the time, but we don't have 12 metres of front hanging on the front of it either, and these tin fronts aren't well, what we call a tin front, just conventional table auger front, aren't anywhere near as heavy as the Draper fronts. So that made me sort of thought, oh well, it'd be a bit different if we had the 12 metre Macdon front hanging on the front of it. They are pretty heavy, so these tyres just don't have the sidewall rating. So yeah, it should be right. So we'll do the rice with them and then we can swap them back on anyway. We've got across the river to do some contracting, so the narrower we are for going across the river and across on sort of public roads and that, the better anyway. But yeah, no, they'll fit it up all right. Yeah, so I'll just keep checking the tension on the bolts. Once we give it a day and do them up again, I'll just have the rattle gun with me. That one might put a bit more air in him. He's a bit soft on the bottom. It just started to rain as I was finishing up, so I've just opened the box just to let a little bit of water. It was amazing. It was already dripping, and we barely had a shower. So anyway, so yeah, we'll just wait and see what this change does. It's not convincing at any stretch just yet. There's a bit of a heavy shower here. It's probably settled the dust. We might have had a mill, but the mower needs to go back in the shed. So anyway, we'll just can't control it, so we'll worry about it when it's finished up. So anyway, thanks again. That'll do for this one. Bit of a tyre changing 101. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Ta-da.